Welcome back to Project 94 for another Diecast review here on the channel, and today is a historic day. It is going to be a review on Michael Mcdowell and his 2023 Loves Speedco Travel Stops Ford Mustang number 34 for Front Row Motorsports. I will repeat that again. Front Row Motorsports gets a Michael Mcdowell diecast produced for the first time since 2021. So a pretty historic day here on the channel reviewing this car. The Loves paint scheme. And a lot of people love this diecast and this paint scheme and the driver. So the fact that they finally got this diecast made, we are going to be forever grateful. This for sure is on the chopping block every single year. It was canceled last year, and is canceled most years, about almost every year. But we got it this year. Of course, we got it in 2021, but that was the race version. Most people wanted the clean version of the car. But we got a clean version of the Michael McDowell car, finally, the Loves paint scheme. So that means if anyone has a diecast series, Michael McDowell can return. Of course, Michael McDowell was a fun name to chant during the Flash Racing Cup series, which is a channel, which is a series that I have for the diecast. Just saying Michael McDowell, because Michael McDowell is a legend for winning that Daytona 500. So now let's get this diecast out of the box. Let's just show people what the box looks like. I'm going to start doing this now because there's people that want to know what the box looks like. People are intrigued about boxes and care about boxes so much. So I'm having to show it. But that's pretty much all you're getting. So let's get this Michael McDowell diecast out of the box. Shout out to Randy the Plumber. He's the one that invented that Michael McDowell screen. I could leave that video in the comment section or if you want me guys want to see it, because it is funny and it's going to go well with this car. So let's put the box up there for now. Here's the diecast out of the box. This one's not on a base, so it is a free roller. Ooh, this one rolls pretty good. This is a pretty good roller. So I guess the shipments are starting to get better with these. They're rolling a little bit better. We'll have to see about the other ones. But yeah, really, really cool. It's so surreal to be holding this diecast in my hands. I didn't think I'd ever see one of these cars again. And here it is. Out of the box, brand new. So let's get this diecast review on. Got number 34, Front Row Motorsports, the Ford Mustang, which is going to be different for 2024. There's a new Mustang coming up. You have the Ford logo. You have Loves Speedco, and of course those obnoxious hood vents. I think they're the worst looking on the Fords. I mean, look how big and massive and intrusive those are. And because the color is a bright color, they are going to stand out. But the next gen cars need them. Of course, you have Ford and McDowell. I'm just sinking this in. McDowell. We finally got a car of his, the Loves, the clean version. You got Sunoco, the blue Goodyear logo, the gray rims, the dark gray. The NASCAR Cup Series, the NASCAR 75th logo. You got the number 34, Michael McDowell's name with the cross. And let's see the rest of this thing. You have Ford, Horizon Hobbies, what that looks like. Plan B Sales and SEM. You have the Loves, right next to number 34, Loves with the hearts slanted on the door so it can look really, really good with the number placement. Of course, you have Speedco, Racing Electronics, Mac Tools, Sherwin-Williams, K&N, Lincoln Welders, and Mobile One. You have Freight Auctions. You have Chicago Pneumatic. Of course, you have Horizon Hobby right there, which is another cool paint scheme, which would be cool to get. Of course, Safety Clean. On the back, you have Front Row Motorsports. Really, really, really tiny. A tiny Front Row Motorsports logo. Of course, you have Loves, got number 34, the license plate, the Ford license plate with the 2023 registration sticker. You have the exhausts and all that stuff for the Ford Mustang, the spoiler with the pop rivets. Of course, you have Loves and Speedco. You have McDowell and Loves on the top with the number 34. So now it's time to get this diecast review, the paint scheme review on. So it's spray painted in that iconic yellow color that this 34 car has always had for Loves. Of course, you have black spoiler, black side skirts, or the sides of the underbody, I should be saying. Then, of course, you have the black splitter in the front of this car. So pretty much just black trim all around. Of course, the top of it has the black roof rails because it's a full body color. So you have the yellow, but then you have the black roof rails on there. The number has got a red outline with a black number fill-in in the iconic Front Row Motorsports font. Of course, that number font always looks good with the number 34, as it always has been. And now for the paint scheme itself. It starts out with a bit of orange on the front valence of the car over the splitter. Then, of course, you have two stripes wrapping around the headlights and the OEM details pretty neatly. You have pretty much a red-orange with orange stripe underneath. Those two stripes are pretty much together, and they're spiking out of the front grille of the Ford Mustang, which is pretty cool to see that. Makes it look super aggressive. And, of course, those stripes are going to separate. So, of course, the orange and red are going to stay together, but then there's another stripe that's pretty much separate from those two, because you can see a yellow gap in the middle right there. See, these two stripes have never touched, because there's always been a yellow gap. Right there's that yellow gap, and then the orange and blue. So it almost looks like these two are separating as they go. Of course, the orange and red are going to spike up to that little part of the window, and then the red is going to spike as well, a bit over the 34, so it pretty much wraps almost into the corner of the front windshield where they're putting the window net in and all that kind of stuff, where the mirrors would be, the tiny, tiny mirrors that are in the cockpit. And of course you have the red and orange stripes, and of course that other red stripe, which are also separated from each other, just like the front corners of this car were, where there was a yellow gap between that red stripe and the other two red and orange stripes. It's going to be like that as on the rear portion of the car as well. Of course, that orange and red stripe, they are going to swoop a bit under and wrap under the bottom contingencies, a little bit over them, behind them, and it's going to swoop up towards the Get Biofuel logo and towards the rear taillights. And of course, that tiny bit of the red stripe is going to wrap a little bit, but that yellow gap is still in the middle. And of course, coming to the back, all yellow right there with the really, really tiny, tiny amounts of the red that was left from that bottommost stripe. The back, the other two stripes that continue, the red and the orange, are all covered up by the taillights, and the lower bumper is covered up in the yellow because the red stripe gets cut off by the exhaust, just like how it should be on this paint scheme. And the rest of it is just all yellow with the Loves and the Speedco and all the sponsors. So it's a pretty simple car, but once again, people love this car, and I gotta say, I love it too. You know, it's a really simple car. They really haven't changed this car that much since like around 2016, but for the next gen they did have to make some alterations to it to accommodate with the new number placement. And I gotta say, this is one of those cars that really takes the new number placement full advantage of it, because look at the way the sponsor is placed on the side. It's big and it's slanted. That is how a lot of the sponsors should look on these cars. I guess this is what NASCAR had in mind when they had the new number placements. The sponsors can have their side logos bigger on the door. So that's cool. I like it for some of these paint schemes. Now, what's cool about it is the heart is now next to the 34 on this side because of the way the logo is placed. And on this side, the heart is near the hips. It's wrapped around the hips of the car. That's pretty cool, like how on both sides the heart is in a different spot because of the way the logo is. They did not flip-flop the logos or to match on both sides. So that's pretty cool to see that. And getting a close-up look at it, because yes, this is real, this is not a custom, it's not a printout custom, not a paper custom, this is a legitimate car made by Lionel Racing. Just so surreal to see this car. What a historic day to finally get one of his cars back in the review studio, man. It's so cool to have this car. And of course, the Diecast series is all over YouTube are going to be having this thing in the field, so get used to seeing this car because it is going to be all over the place. And the fans are really happy that they got this car. So now Lionel is starting to get slightly better. Not too much better with the production of getting these cars made, but they're getting it together slowly. They're making some slight progress, and this car is a symbol of that progress. So here's the front of the car. Here's the hood. Here's the right side. Here's the back. Here's the deck lid. Here's the roof. Here's the left side. Better look at that. And the underbody of the car. 2023 Ford Mustang, used under license. And that right there, folks, has been Michael Mcdowell and his 2023 Loves Travel Stops Ford Mustang for Front Row Motorsports. This was a fun diecast review, and hopefully we can get some more of these smaller teams diecast made. So now, For your diecast series, you have the 34 and the 38, so you have a complete team. So hopefully you guys have a fun time with that, with your doing the diecast series and stuff like that. I really like this car a lot. The yellow and the red and the orange blend in really well together. And who doesn't love to stop? Get it? Get it? Who doesn't love to stop at a Love's travel stop in the middle of vacation? I know it's summer vacation as I'm reviewing this car, so definitely not a better time to be reviewing this car other than during summer vacation, because a lot of people are going to be stopping at these places. A lot of people are going to be going to these travel stops. And of course, Love's is definitely going to be one of them. So to have this diecast review come out around this time period, very, very cool to see that. Although this car, honestly, could have and should have been out back in the beginning of the season in February. But, you know, the diecasts are pretty late to be produced. But you know what? At least we got the car, period. I mean, that's how it is nowadays. Anyways, but very, very cool diecast. Of course, the Get Biofuel logo. Sometimes forget to point that out. Did it just now. And that is it, folks. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this diecast review for this 2021 Daytona 500 Champions 2023 car. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this diecast review. Comment, like, and subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next diecast review. And always remember to make sure you know what you're doing when you're putting decals on your diecasts.